times when politicians speak, people care less about what they say because they speak from both sides of their mouth. And when they speak, they are not speaking about themselves because they believe that they have been anointed and they've been put in a position that enables them to do just whatever they like. They say certain things and people might think that they are talking to everyone, including themselves, but that's not the case. Nigerians rip President Buhari to shreds for trying to ban Nigerians from going abroad for medical treatment. As you know, in Nigeria, Buhari is the number one person when it comes to medical tourism. He has toured basically everywhere in the world, and the base where he goes for treatment is actually the United Kingdom, and it's still the same place his own wife goes to for treatment, either Spain or they go to the United Kingdom. President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday at Alex Ekwueme Federal University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, during the inauguration and handover of completed projects to the management of the hospital, said Nigerians should not continue going abroad for medical treatment. Nigerians have suffered so much abroad for medical treatment. This is not good for us. It must stop because we cannot afford it again. And this is actually even carried by Punch newspaper. So it's not just a gossip or a gossip paper that brought it, or one of those, magazines or newspaper that you might say, oh, this is not so. Punch newspaper actually carried this. Nigerians can't continue going overseas for treatment. When they say Nigerians, they are not talking of themselves. They are talking about you out there that have been disenfranchised, desensitized, people that they've stolen everything from. They are talking to you, but he's not talking to his own family, as his own children have the opportunity to even travel abroad and just do whatever they like. So Nigerians reacted to this. The president, who himself had traveled to the United Kingdom for treatment on several occasions. In fact, ever since Buhari mounted that position, he has always traveled abroad for treatment. If he has some itch here, he goes abroad. If he has some hair pain, he goes abroad. The president has traveled more than any other president when it comes to medical tourism. He has gone on several occasions. He said it will cost the country less money if our citizens invested in the health care in the country rather than invest in other countries. Now, they say charity begins at home. Nigerians are not in charge of the economy. These people are in charge of the economy. We are talking about the president and the rest of his goons. They are the ones in charge of the economy, not an average citizen that are actually not giving, they are not being given back what they are supposed to get back from a country. If you're a citizen of a country, expect that when you pay your tax or when you are also contributing to the economy, you expect certain returns from the country. And where are these returns gotten from? They are gotten, one, from taxpayers' money. They are also gotten from other resources that the country have, and these resources are supposed to be put together to build hospitals for free. And of course, people coming to the hospital, at least you get your first aid and you get your treatment for free. There are terminal diseases that are supposed to be taken care of by the government, but that's not the case. Rather, they will steal the money, go abroad, buy a lot of houses. Even in Nigeria, they have so many properties that you can never imagine what these people need all of these things for. They have all of these things abroad. They bought foreign citizenship for their children and for themselves. Many of them, all of them in the Senate, many of them, they all have foreign citizenship. So when you look at all of these things, you realize that these people have taken us for a ride for too long, and they are calling us fools. Fools. That is just what these people are calling us. So a lot of Nigerians reacted, like I said. Some of them are Hausas, some of them are they are from the southern part of Nigeria. Here someone says, you said the same thing about education while your children graduated abroad, and now after spending months in UK for your treatment, you are here telling us rubbish. The next thing we'll hear or see is you going to UK for checkup or treatment. So these people, it's time for people to rise up against stupidity. It's time for people to rise against this kind of people that have taken us for a fool for a long time. Imagine what the president is saying, yet not too long, he just came back from the United Kingdom for the same treatment, medical treatment, at the expense of taxpayer. Just imagine the amount of money that they allocated for themselves. They allocated millions, billions. That's what the president allocated, up close to 1 billion naira for his own treatment, for his own trip abroad. And of course, his children, they have their own cut out of that money. He has the amount that he has marked for his children, that he cuts out for his children. His children collect millions. We are talking of millions of money. That's what his children live on. So that's why they're able to buy expensive automobiles, buy expensive power bikes, and do all of this at the expense of taxpayer. So there is no transparency. These people cannot even be called in to evaluate how much a president is supposed to earn. These people earn much more than what you can expect. So it's a very terrible situation that we need to look into. There's no accountability at all in any strata of the government. All they do is to take in money and point out the amount that they need and keep it for themselves while they stand there and argue about minimum wage. Another one said, dictator Buhari commands Nigeria not to follow his steps in traveling overseas for treatment. Despite poor health care, Buhari seeks to restrict us on how much money we spend in seeking better treatment overseas. We are in trouble. Nigerians can't continue going overseas for treatment, according to Buhari. Another one say, I now believe Buhari is on artificial intelligence. That was not completed. This man no rate us at all. This man sees us as animals. And I want to say Nigerians can't continue going overseas for treatment. Why? And I want to say Buhari said this. Interesting. Then let's see whose death awaits in this 2020. Nigerians can't continue going overseas for treatment. Buhari, 3rd, 1st, 2020. Buhari's message as delivered by Minister of Science and Technology. This is not April 1st yet. Perhaps federal government is planning to ban medical treatment abroad, except for Buhari and his cabals. Another person say, well, this is very true. According to Lai Mohammed, Buhari has never traveled overseas for treatment. The plane travels overland. Also, he uses Nigerian Panadol Extra in the UK and eats Niger jollof rice. And I want to say, since I was born, I have been hearing people saying that nobody traveled all over the world as much as Ajala Jalingo. Then, President Muhammadu Buhari entered the arena and shattered the table. Baddest traveler ever lived. Said, I will fly all over the world. So I don't want to say, just tell us you have hired special doctors who will be visiting more often in 2020. Stop all these Okpata yans. So probably that is what the president has decided to do. Probably that is his game plan. I'm going to bring in professionals at the expense of the taxpayers' money. I'm not going to make use of the doctors in Nigeria because he himself he has lost hope in the medical doctors that we have in Nigeria. He doesn't trust even an Hausa Fulani to actually treat him. He doesn't believe in them because he has that mediocre, he has that inferior complex. So he won't put faith in that doctor in the doctors that we have in Nigeria. Why? Because they are not ready to make even the federal hospitals top class. They are not going to make any of the hospitals top class. When you see most of the hospitals, they do not have medications. They don't have nothing inside of it. Everything is empty. The infrastructure itself is getting decay. When you look at the facilities, the beds and all of the equipment, medical equipment that are supposed to be in the hospital, many of the doctors have stolen them and they kept them in their own private hospitals. Why? Because the head is so corrupt. The head is in decay. The head is diseased. So they look at it and say, okay, you know what? No one needs to be accountable. If they steal from their own position, any position that I also had, I am going to steal. That is just the thing. It's a kind of system where everyone in any position embarks on the journey of stealing and looting. Doctors steal, politicians steal. That's just what it is. So it's a very terrible one. What can we say about this? What can we say about this? So another person says, see, after he has finished treating himself abroad, and he will continue treating himself abroad, and he knows that soon his tenure is going to be over, he's now trying to come up with some stories. So the same president that is spinning all this yarn about Nigerians shouldn't go abroad for medical treatment, his own family, they are the number one medical tourists in this, at least in Nigeria. The same president, when his own son had an accident, from the same taxpayers' money that they found a way of cornering for themselves, he bought power bike for himself and his friend. He had an accident on it and he was flown abroad. He was flown abroad because his father was afraid that he might lose his son and maybe the guy might die or he might have some mental problem because he hit his head on the floor. He was flown abroad quickly. He received top-notch medical attention. Not because such cannot it can't be treated in Nigeria, but why? How can it be treated in Nigeria? Because they do not even trust the system, and because they've made sure also to be part of the people that have brought Nigeria down to where it is. The wife of the president goes abroad every time, goes there for medical treatment too. And the only thing they come to say is, oh, the hospitals are not well equipped, as if the equipment will fall from somewhere. As people, we are stronger than these people only if we stand as one rather than single voices here and there. That's my own take about this. It's time we begin to hold our leaders accountable and we begin to call a spade a spade. That's just what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, let us grow it together by tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.